Hi friends, don't mind the zit cream. If you have PCOS, you understand. It's not zits, we get cysts, and they're the worst. Oh my God, they're the worst. They don't go away forever, and they suck. Anyway, my PCOS sisters out there. Okay, so I wanted to take a break from our regularly scheduled 9-day challenge to setting up, a successful tarot business, or spiritual business, I should say. It doesn't have to be tarot. We're taking a break from that because I want to talk about, we have an astrological event happening on February 28th. Now, I'm not an astrologer. Never claim to be. I'm just someone who likes to do research, and I find astrology fascinating, and I stand on it like I stand on business. So, I was reading an article this morning about this Sun-Saturn combustion that's happening on February 28th, but it actually begins this Sunday when the sun moves into Pisces in tropical, and it's going to last for all of Pisces season until the sun moves into Aries. So essentially, in terms of planets, Big Bad Daddy Saturn is the taskmaster, right? He's often seen as like the father time, or like the father of the zodiac. And he's like that tiger parent, who doesn't let you get away with nothing. You gotta work hard, you gotta study hard, and they really put these kind of dads, they really put you in tough positions because they want you to be better, right? But they require a lot of hard work, a lot of effort, a lot of persistence, slowly gained rewards. That's Saturn, okay? So it's the dad who gives you really tough assignments, or the professor who believes that you have more in you than you're giving, and so they give you a hard time or tough homework. Okay, you feel me? That's Saturn. Now, Saturn is combusting with the sun, which in astrology, the sun is basically like our identity, right? So essentially what we have is Saturn is going to be in the shadow of the sun for all of Pisces season. God help us. So because Saturn is going to be in the shadow of the sun, it's going to feel like the lessons that he is trying to teach us are fuzzy. It's going to feel like almost like we're standing too close to like a bright light and we can't quite make out what's happening. So depending on where Saturn is in your chart, we are going to feel pretty unsure of ourselves, and we're also going to be feeling like we might be struggling with our responsibilities more than normal. In terms of our goals and our career, this transit can make it feel like we really don't know where we're going. Like career-wise especially, it's going to feel like the path forward is really unclear. Because it's Saturn, we're also really going to be tested in terms of like I was talking about persistence, in terms of our patience and our determination. We're going to have extra roadblocks and extra obstacles as we're trying to move forward here. Now, I know this, probably sounds all doom and gloom, and let's be real, it fucking is, okay? We can be real about that. But as with everything, right? And if y'all have worked with me or known me for a while, and I'm assuming most of you do, I'm a shadow worker, and I believe strongly in the power of doing shadow work. So I always try to see the pluses and minuses of every situation, even when it sucks. And in this case, I'm sure a lot of astrologers out there would be like, it's not all bad. It gives us a chance to examine the shadow. So while I'm all about shadow work, I'm not a fan of getting triggered. And so that's the part that I'm not looking forward to, is getting triggered, because a large part of this transit is going to deal with our relationships. Yeah. So we're going to be triggered over the next month, all of Pisces season. It's going to be really shining a light on our insecurities, where we're jealous, where we feel lack. So I want to encourage all of us to get stuck in the muck. with this. We don't have to let it derail us. And I'm a big fan of never allowing astrology to scare you or to stop you from living your life. I just see it as having hints and tips and tricks along the way. Understanding why things are happening and what it's trying to teach us is going to allow us to pivot and move faster or move forward faster. And always remember, this is just a transit. It's just a month. It's going to be dicey, but it's going to be okay. So I think if we all go into this month, this season, this Pisces season, understanding that it's going to feel like we're trying to find our way in the dark, but you can't see your hand in front of your face. In tarot, I would use the moon to describe this transit, because you can't see shit, but you got to move forward anyway. So what do we do? Well, shadow work. And y'all should know how to do that if you've been with me for any length of time. If not, there's millions of videos out there on every platform available. There's books now about shadow work. You can figure it out. Everybody has a different process. So how should we be navigating this transit? Because it's Saturn, there are certain things that we can try to avoid in order to have the smoothest possible ride through this. So we're going to want to avoid overworking, which for those of us who are Saturn ruled, because I have multiple Capricorn placements, for those of us who are Saturn ruled, we tend to overwork when our relationships are crappy. And so I think that's going to be one of the shadows that's going to be popping up is we can't. We're going to find that maybe we get sick or, whatever the situation. But I feel like if we try to overwork or if we try to avoid dealing with the shadows that are rising, I think we're going to find the situation gets worse. And so we're literally just sat there with our thoughts. We don't need to do that to ourselves. Let's instead try to process the shadows as they come, be patient and gentle with ourselves and everybody else around us, right? And do our best to not try to bury our emotions in the habit of work. Another aspect of this transit is that we can become way over rigid. Now, Saturn likes structure and rules. Capricorns, high five. We love it. But this transit can make us feel really, really stubborn and inflexible, which isn't going to help anybody. We're also going to want to stay away from negativity as much as possible. I think we're going to be our own worst enemy in this aspect. Again, depending on where Saturn is in your chart. But my advice would be to stay away from overthinking as much as possible. Another aspect of this is the desire to isolate. Because we're going to have a lot of shadows, there's going to be a lot of feelings of, I just want to be by myself, leave me alone, get out, get out. So we can collectively work on, instead of withdrawing, learning how to sit with the trigger, with the shadow, and be present with it without running away, essentially. We also need to be really careful about procrastination. Saturn is not a lover of procrastination. He'll gut you. He'll get you. Instead, we need to be focusing on how to prioritize our task list, because Saturn does like to tack on extra responsibilities on top of everything else that we're already juggling, to teach us the benefit of doing things baby steps. I know nobody really likes baby steps. It's annoying to have to slow down and, not rush through things, but that's Saturn. We also need to be careful, especially my fellow Pisceans out there. I'm a Pisces, Sun, Rising, Mercury, and some other random thing. I got a lot of Pisces. We really are going to have to work hard at not taking criticism too personally. This is going to be difficult. Let's try our best, especially for my Latinas out there. If you want to see me go from 0 to 300, yeah, criticize me. Let's see what happens. Mentiroso. Anyway, we're really going to have to work hard to not get super triggered, to not be super offended when people are trying to perhaps offer us help, but we're not going to hear it that way, okay? It's just part of this transit. So let's instead sit with it, realize if this is happening and coming up for a reason. We knew this was going to be happening and coming up, and let's try instead to use it as an opportunity for growth, for self-improvement. Silver lining as much as we can. Love y'all.